So today I'm going to explain you more about the Linux. Trust me, I have used Linux in almost like each and every project of mine because I have been using Hortonworks Cloudera, Databricks where they use these Linux commands because they run on top of the Linux environment. And Linux is a free and open source. That's the reason that every company tried to utilize Linux instead of more of Windows. So let's get started. I'm gonna tell you these are the contents of my course. So I'm gonna explain you about a brief introduction of history of Linux, how Linux operating system works, that means the architecture and difference between Linux with the other operating systems, different Linux distributions, commands, and even I am going to revise a lot of interview questions that are mostly asked in the interviews. So getting back to history of Linux. So initially we used to have the Unix. So Unix was created at Bell Labs in 1969 by Ken Thompson and Dennis Ritchie and others. Unix was designed to be multi-user, multitasking operating system for computers. It became highly influential, inspiring many later operating systems. So it was initially written in C programming language. And next, Richard Stallman, a programmer at MIT, launched the GNU project in 1983. So the aim of this project is to create completely free and open source operating system that was Unix compatible, and GNU project began developing many core components like GNU C compiler, GNU Bash shell. Don't worry, you're gonna learn about it later in this course about the bash shell and the compiler. But it doesn't have this kernel. It just had the bash shell and the compiler. So, what next? Linus Torvalds, a Finnish computer scientist, began developing his own operating system kernel as a personal project in 1991. This kernel was inspired by the Unix-based Minix system, which Torvalds found limited for his needs. On August 25, 1991, Torvalds announced this operating system is open source, and the first version of Linux kernel 0.01 was released on September 17, 1991. It was originally a project but soon attracted attention of global developer community and everyone started using it. The Linux kernel provided the core of an operating system. It needed other components like utilities, libraries, and compilers. Open source software development grew during 1990s and Linux became the flagship project of this moment. As a result, thousands of developers from around the world contributed to improving Linux and developing new distributions. In 1990s, Linux began gaining popularity, and different groups started packaging the Linux kernel along with GNU software and other utilities, creating Linux distributions. We're gonna learn more about the distributions later in this course. So this is about a brief history of the Linux. You can see the hardware layer over here. So the shell is a user interface that allows users to interact with the operating system. Some common